how do I maintain myself, yet maintain everyone else around me? The word was clear as day. When you are whole and complete within yourself, everything else falls into place.
Welcome to Working Women Mentor, a podcast that empowers everyday women like you, like me, to share and learn from life's mentor moments. I am your host, Rani Alfers, and in each episode, you will meet inspiring women that understand the power of recognizing mentor moments and how those moments can change it all. These fabulous women are here and ready to share it all with you. So let's dive in.
Hi, everyone. Today's guest is Toye Penny. She is the creator of the Love You More method. She is a well-being strategist who's written a book and tells all on how to be the best version of you. She specializes in helping celebrity and high-performing CEO moms put their oxygen mask on first so they can save everyone else around them. And literally, when you're around Toye, you feel the oxygen mask dropping from above. And she showers you with intentional listening and helpful ways that can really help you become the best version of yourself. And so Toye's sharing a dynamic and empowering story with us today that will leave you understanding what it's like to have that mentor in your life, or if you've never had one, why it's so important to give back to those around us. So let's listen in and meet Toye.
So Toye Penny, thank you so much for joining us today on Working Women Mentor. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here.
Well, if I think of mentorship and all the women that you are helping right now, I'm thinking of you. So I want to hear everything about what is going on with your business, your book, the women that you're working with. But first, I have to ask you about your views on mentorship. I mean, how has that evolved for you over time?
Man, as we get into my story, you'll get to hear my story and how I evolved to be who I am today. But I'm actually mentoring some teenage moms right now, and I absolutely adore. I love it. I love it. So, I live for mentorship. I wish that I had a mentor when I was younger and growing up. And even now I have a mentor. So, we all need mentorship. It's amazing.
We really do. And I love that you grab everyone around you and mentor them, no matter what age, if they're young, if they're old. If you have something good to say, if you want to listen, I think that's what it's all about. Well, tell us your story. Tell us a little bit about the Toye Penny that we see. We see you on, promoting your book. We see you on the news. You're all over the media. Tell us who you are.
Sure. So I am Toye Penny from toyepenny.com, and I am a well-being strategist for celebrity and high-performing CEO moms. And I help them put their oxygen mask on first so they can save everyone else around them. And so how I do this is I created a method called the Love You More method, and I exclusively guide them through this method. And this method is to help them reduce mental load, drop the functioning addiction cycle, prevent the risk of a health breakdown, and model well-being for generations to come. So it's actually an upscale well-being program. Basically, to sum it all up, it's an upscale well-being program for high-performing women who are working, who are leading in their industries, and they're trying to juggle it all. They have children at home. They may have a husband at home. They have their careers, their industry. They have everything. They just have everything. So I am that woman that works behind the scenes to help her so that she can continue on serving in her purpose.
Mm. And, you have found your purpose in doing this. How did you get on this path, Toye? Where is your why behind this Love You More method?
Man, so my story began very briefly. I'm going to try to keep it brief. But my mother passed away of lupus when I was about 9 years old. And I remember that being a really devastating event that took place in my life as a young girl. And even to this day, I'm honestly, I'm going to put that out there. Like, I'm honestly on the whole Love You More method journey as well. But I'm still trying to dive in and find answers myself. But so she passed away. And one minute, all I knew was I was with my uncle and they said she was sick. And the next minute, she died. I didn't go to the hospital, see her. I didn't get to say goodbye. There was no nothing. All I remember my heart beating in my chest when my uncle told me that she passed away. And so, man, I moved forward from that. I mean, that was a huge thing. And I moved forward from that. Right after that, I didn't know my dad until I was about 18 years old. I just happened to stumble upon a card at my grandmother's house, and I went for a search myself, and and tried to find this man who was my father. And so I didn't find him until I was 18 years old. I was sexually abused at the age of 13. And I became a teenage mom at the age of 16. I had her 1 week into my 17th birthday. So being really transparent here, me being sexually abused at 13, that opened me up to sex. And then my father not being there, nor my mother not being there, that opened me up to trying to find love in all the wrong places. And so I remember, trying to, my grandmother said the dating time was 16, but I remember, saying all my friends and all my cousins were dating and all this stuff. And I remember saying, please, let me date. So she allowed me to date, but she didn't give me the education on it. And of course, so I found this guy at 15 and I started talking to him. I was almost 16. Next thing you know, I was pregnant. Y'all, I'm 16, pregnant, don't know what to do. And so 1 week into my 17th birthday, I give birth to this daughter. And I remember being in the hospital, in the delivery room, and I said to her, "It's just me and you." And y'all, I'm getting chills just talking about it. I remember saying, "It's just me and you." And I said, "I won't disappoint you, I promise." And from there,
that's quite a promise at that age, right? I mean, you made a commitment right then and there that we're in this. Mm-hmm.
We're in this. And so something just lifted out of me. The moment I said that, it lifted out of me and I just took off, y'all. So I immediately graduated from high school. My daughter was about 1 year old. I graduated from high school, walked across the stage. She was 1. And I went off to massage therapy school. And right after massage therapy school, I got hired at this high-end luxury day spa. And I was working there as 19. By this time, I was able to move out of my grandmother's house, got my first brand new ride. I got my first apartment and all this stuff. We was living pretty good at 19. And I was working there and the owner saw something in me. I was there on time every day. I was there, I was working with clients. I was making money and literally I was just being myself. That's all I was doing. I was being myself. And she came to me and asked me if I wanted to buy the place. So I'm like, wait, hold up. I'm like 22 by this time. And I'm like, you want me to buy the place? And she's like, yeah. So I bartered services with a couple of clients who were attorneys, and they represented me in the sale of the business. And the next thing you know, I am 23 years old and the CEO and owner of a high-end day spa. I have 15 employees. I'm a single mom. And I'm like, what just happened here? Like, what just happened? Y'all, it was absolutely amazing. I built my first home from the ground up at the age of 24. I mean, I watched it come up, big old huge 2-story home. My daughter and I traveled the world. We wanted for nothing. It was absolutely amazing financially. But here's where my downfall happened. I began to develop this facade of I have it all together in my career, and simultaneously things were falling apart on the back end. So everybody was like, oh my gosh, look at Toye. She's 24. She got a brand new car and a brand new house. And, I mean, it was just, y'all, we was living the life. I'm talking about my daughter and I was living the life. And so I was like, my mental load was really all over the place. I didn't have time for my daughter. I was pouring all of my energy and effort into this business. We were eating out every single day, and I was snapping. And I was about my business. My identity really became my business. And so I knew that this wasn't the way I was supposed to be. And so what happened was one day I came home from work. I had 4 slices of cold pizza and I fed her a chili cheese dog. She had all the works and everything. You know, she had some Dorito chips. And so I was like, okay, something has got to give. And I started looking for schools, and I found this nutrition/lifestyle school, and I immediately enrolled. And y'all, when I enrolled, I found out that my lifestyle and my food and all of my choices was directly tied together. So I started putting 2 and 2 together, and I had never dealt with those voids that I had had in my childhood, y'all. It was just like take off, just like fly. I never dealt with my mother passing away. I never dealt with being sexually abused. I never dealt with my father being not present in my life. I never dealt with being a teenage mom. It was just like go, like survival mode. I was just on the go. And so it had started manifesting through my actions as a CEO, as a mom, and as an individual. So I was like, okay, how do I do this? So I started putting my life together and try to start really working on my life. I knew that I wanted to get married and have more kids. And so I set myself up that way. And so I really started focusing on Toye. And when I did that, I attracted this young man from the U.S. Virgin Islands of St. Thomas. And we started dating. He took me there for my birthday. And we had this wonderful time there. And on the plane ride back, God whispered in my ear and told me to sell my business. And I'm like, sell my business? So by this time, I'm 7 years in, y'all. And I decided to step out on faith and sell my business. All of my family thought I was crazy. The guy that I was dating thought I was crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy. So I found this broker. He found this lovely husband and wife couple. And the next thing you know, I'm signing on the dotted line. Cash is in my bank account and I am out the door. So this is when I started toypenny.com. I immediately get married to the young man from the U.S. Virgin Islands of St. Thomas.
Must have been a great trip, Toye, to the Virgin Islands. Well, if you immediately got married after that trip, that must have been one hell of a trip.
Girl, it was a good trip. So I get married to this dude. Listen, we have one baby girl and then we have another baby girl. So by this time, I am juggling toypenny.com. My oldest daughter is now 13, which I knew that the 13 age, the teenage age was a very crucial age. And so she's 13. I'm pregnant with one baby girl. I'm breastfeeding one baby girl. I'm running toypenny.com with clients. I'm a newlywed. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on? I remember snapping. My 13-year-old, she's acting out, like a 13-year-old. You know, I'm trying to juggle clients and their issues. I'm trying to be this wife, this wonderful wife that I signed up to be.
And did you feel like you were getting back on that hamster wheel again? That you had just, that's that feeling where it's like, it's creeping up again. I'm about to get on the wheel.
I lost it. I was losing it, y'all. I was losing it. Everything, it started going up and then it just started coming down again. And I lost it. And like I said, my daughter's acting out. This 13-year-old's acting out. And, I remember just yelling at her, don't know how to take control of the issues, and I'm just lashing out because I was so overwhelmed, mental load. So once again, I went and I had this talk with the good Lord above. And I said, how do I maintain myself, yet maintain everyone else around me? The word was clear as day. When you are whole and complete within yourself, everything else falls into place. it hit me like a truck, y'all. It just
say that one more time, Toye, because I want everyone to hear that. Say that again.
Yes. When you are whole and complete within yourself, everything else falls into place.
That's powerful.
That's so good. That was so good. And it hit me, y'all. So this is when I started putting together the Love You More method. This is it.
That's a big why. That is a big why. That's not only the why, it's the why not. Why didn't I do this sooner? Why aren't many people more exposed to this? And I love that you practice what you preach.
Yes.
You are not just out there, wanting women to get better. You're wanting yourself to get better in your own journey as well. And you've been through the high and the low, and you get it.
I get it. I understand.
And I know you've had women come to you and they are usually probably at that low point, and you've been there. And what does that look like? I mean, what is, I know what you were going through, but when the average woman comes to you, I mean, where are they mentally with their mindset?
I mean, exactly. I am my client, actually. So they are exactly where I am, where I was. The mental load is just all over the place. I mean, they are carrying a heavy mental load. Their identity is wrapped up in this business. They really desire to succeed, and they are succeeding. They are succeeding in life. You can look at their pictures and see that, oh my gosh, this woman has it going on. Her house is amazing. Her car is amazing. She looks amazing. Her kids are off to private school. I mean, they look amazing. Everything is amazing in her life. But silently, this woman is suffering.
And there's a difference, isn't there, between having a bad day, right? And us kind of falling apart just because it was a bad day versus that consistent drip of daily silent bad days.
Exactly. And so this woman, like I said, she might be snapping at her clients, or snapping at her team members. Or, she's just, like I said, she's all over the place. She doesn't have a lot of time for her kids. Her relationship with her husband or her spouse is going down the drain because all of her effort and energy is into this business. And bits and pieces of her health is falling apart. She may not realize it, but she's overstressed, maybe she's developing, diabetes, or maybe she's suffering from, overeating or undereating, or, she has some things that's going on with her, and she's not telling everyone. She's not telling everyone. We are seeing the outer picture. So
how do you break through that barrier, Toye? Because women, we work so hard to build up that barrier, as you just described, of, she's not telling anyone. So how do you chip away at it, and how do you peel it away? And what is it about you that breaks through that? Because you're so disarming by nature, right? I mean, you're so approachable and friendly and easy to talk to, but what do you do? How do you get through that?
And honestly, that was actually my answer. Not for some reason, that's a gift. That's a gift. That's honestly a gift of mine. I could be sitting at a restaurant and people will come and tell me their problems. Like literally, I don't know them from the next man over, and they will come and just start talking to me. So honestly, as I am talking to this woman, she just opens up. I just ask the question and she starts opening up. She's opening up. And this is when I see, oh, okay, and because I'm so loving, and because I'm so inviting, and because I'm so, friendly, I'm able to get to the root cause of what's going on in this woman's life.
Well, the women that are listening to us today, you have your book out, and I know they can read a little bit more about the method. But what are maybe 3 things that they can do to that we can all do to immediately love ourselves more and breathe in the oxygen that you're providing?
Exactly. So here's what I did. I separated your well-being into 2 separate parts. You have your primary well-being and your secondary well-being. Now, your primary well-beings are fruits of your spirit, and they feed you, but they don't come on your plate. Your primary well-beings are things like your mental and emotional peace, a meaningful spiritual practice, relationships that nurture your soul, never-ending self-investments, quality sleep, empowering physical activities, and a thriving career. Those are your primary well-beings. And your secondary well-beings is the food that you actually eat and put in your mouth. Now, if you are over indulging in your primary well-being, then you tend to underindulge in your second well-being and vice versa.
Mm.
Yes. So I like to give the example of Kate Spade and Whitney Houston. Those 2 are my ideal target clients. Whitney Houston had some childhood voids, much like myself, and she used drugs to fill those voids. But then not only that, she modeled this behavior for her daughter. And now her daughter is no longer here. Both of them are no longer here due to the voids that Whitney Houston had.
That's a great example. You're right. I mean,
that's y'all.
It can't be any clearer than that.
It can't be any clearer than that. Another example is Kate Spade. In 2018, Kate Spade committed suicide, and I have dived so deep into her story. And the biggest issue she had was, she said, it is the hardest thing in the world to be a $1 billion CEO and a mom at the same time. And she wanted to be there. She truly wanted to be there for her daughter, but she just couldn't. And so she was highly depressed, and she committed suicide, leaving her now 15-year-old daughter here by herself. Not by herself, but without her mother, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so because I grew up without my mother, I know that our children are better with us here. So that's why I call myself the CEO Mom Interventionist. And I intervene in her life and privately guide her through all of these 8 steps. Now, all of these 8 steps, you can't use one without the other. It is ever evolving. So as I'm working with my clients, one day, it may be mental and emotional peace. The next day, she didn't get sleep. The other day, she probably had some junk food that she shouldn't have eaten.
Mm-hmm.
So it is ever evolving because we are ever evolving. So it is work. It is work.
And it sounds like, I mean, the first thing we could all do is really look at what those pasts are that, maybe some self-awareness that we may need to get over and heal from. Exactly. And really analyze our own behavior. I mean, is there something we're indulging or lacking, or just, some general self-awareness and some truth with yourself? Exactly. is probably a great first step into, loving ourselves more.
Exactly. And so I would always say in the mental and emotional peace area, exactly what you said, Rani. Just really honing in and owning whatever it is that is stealing your peace, your mental and emotional peace, whatever it is, let's own it. Own it.
I love this. Oh, you are so inspiring, and the CEO moms everywhere, the moms everywhere, I know always want to be a part of your program. But, if you had just one piece of advice for someone out there, what would that be? Would it be a mentor moment that maybe you've had in your life? Because you've had so many. Is there anything that you feel like every woman should know?
Every woman should know that we are bad stewards over our lives if we continue doing things that will potentially take us away from our families, society.
Well, when you say that,
industry.
Yeah,
yes,
it's, we are. I mean, and you're calling it like you see it, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Well, I think about my own son, and I want to be healthy. I want to be around for him. When I head to the gym, it's like, hey, I want to make sure I'm around and active as long as long as I can for you. You want to be the healthiest version of you, because goodness, I can't imagine something getting in the way of my relationship with my son or my ability to be there for him.
Exactly.
But it does every day, right? Everything pulls on us until it pulls so hard that you're out of alignment.
You're out of alignment. And that is the key. You want to be in alignment. And the Love You More method is, yes, it's for you, but you want to model this behavior for generations to come, because there's a day when you won't be here anymore. But your seed is still here, which means your seed is what you planted. Your seed, your children, maybe that's your team members, your brand, whatever it is, it's still here. But there will be a time when you will not be here today. But you want to model this well-being behavior for generations to come.
Mm-hmm.
For generations to come. And that's really huge. That's huge.
It is. It's that legacy. It's how your impact, who you planted seeds with, where those seeds are, how, when they grow over time, you may not be around at that point, like you said, decades, years, hundreds of years, who knows, but it's those small things that you do with people and how they grow. I think that says a lot about who we are.
Yes. I am in the works of turning this book into a movie.
Wow. Yes. Really? How cool.
To reach more people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's exciting. You must, I love that you've taken a story of your life and you've really you shine a huge light in areas that most people don't ever want to look back at. They just kind of want to keep going, but you've sort of unraveled it, shine the light, like taking a hammer to it. I mean, you just exposed all of those areas, and your impact, is really what is going to be your lasting seeds that you have. I think. So
thank you so much,
Toye. It's been so great having you today. How can everyone find you?
You can find me at toyepenny.com. Everywhere, Toye Penny. I'm on Instagram, official_Toye Penny. Twitter, Toye Penny. Facebook, Toye Penny. Everywhere, just Toye Penny.
Just Google Toye Penny and find you, right?
Toye Penny.
All right, Toye, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. I hope you'll walk away feeling inspired and are thinking of how a mentor moment can help you or someone you know. In case you haven't hit the follow button to subscribe to this show, please do so. And if you love the episode, I'd really appreciate a review. You see, this review helps Apple or Spotify or whatever platform you're listening to us on know that other women just like you want to learn about the show. And it'll help us spread the word. Let's connect on Instagram at Working Women Mentor or at Rani Alfers. You can find all episodes online at ranialfers.com/podcast and the ability to send an audiogram of your favorite mentor moments. And we respond to everyone. I truly can't wait to hear from you. Check back weekly for new episodes, and cheers until the next episode.